So Dave watched the first one, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, we got like 30-some views on it. Are we recording?
Yeah.
Well,
we'll cut that part off. This is the bloopers and stuff.
All right, so you ready?
Yeah.
All right, do that cut thing.
Do that cut thing.
Where you go. All right. Okay, so you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready right now. This is my thing. Pull my books out.
Oh, we're like, oh, you caught me studying. Hey, welcome to the Gnostic Deluge.
Yeah, this is our 4th episode.
Number 4. And hopefully we're getting it down a little better. I think the last one was more concise. And
do you think so?
I think so. But today we're going into the second book of Adam and Eve.
Yeah, this is where the... I don't want to say the good stuff, because there was some pretty good things that happened in the first one, right?
Yeah.
But this one has maybe more things that we don't know based off our tradition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or things that might be kind of somewhat alluded to, that the Bible doesn't go into.
Yeah.
And so the main things, we have 4 main things we're going to go over. Adam's death and his prophecy. He makes prophecy.
Don't they all?
Like somehow they all know when they're going to die, and they're able to, okay, kids, gather around. Nobody dies accidentally. So, yeah, they all do. Actually, because we could go with Mahalil and all them. Anyway, so Adam's death, then Cain's death.
Yep. Oh, that's going to take a little bit of a discussion, right?
Okay, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
And then the life that the people that are living on the mountain compared to the life that Cain's children are living down below. That's kind of another, and then how the children of God are eventually lured off of the mountain. It's fun.
It happened. They were lured off the mountain.
It's very interesting. They
didn't stay in the mountain, I'll tell you that. Spoiler
alert.
They don't stay in the mountain.
Yeah. Well, this is whenever I was like, let's do the book of Adam and Eve. This is the part I wanted to get to. I mean, I like the part with Adam and Eve, but this is the part that, because I had never heard this.
True. So you're saying that the last 3 boring episodes we did
have all been to get to this. Yeah. No, because actually I always enjoyed all the extra stories. Oh, we need to close that door.
I'll close it.
Okay.
On air. I'll do it
all
right here.
But I was saying we'll all talk while you're doing it. We need to... the stories are interesting because you're just like, okay, yeah, you get kicked out of the garden. And what happened after that? You don't get much information. So it was interesting because you're just like, yeah, it would be tough. How'd they get food? How'd they do this? So that was all interesting. And then the extra stuff you learned about Cain and Abel, in the story. But this is like the highlight where I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And it's not contained in the Bible.
Yeah, let's not make our listeners wait any longer.
We're gonna jump in, okay?
Yeah.
Well, so
Dave, we're not gonna make you wait for any more.
If he's
he'll watch this one.
All right. Well, so Cain and Abel. This is okay. Where do you want to start?
Right there at the top. Your notes.
Okay. Well, Cain killed Abel, and so Adam and Eve have another son named Seth. And
Seth doesn't want to get married because he's so. Did we decide if he was just so righteous or not, or what? Or was it Abel that didn't want to get married?
No, it was Seth.
It was Seth, but he did. He had to marry Lelua, right?
The ugly sister.
I bet right now this is a theory of mine that she didn't end up being the ugly sister. Because you know what, Mark?
What?
People's attractiveness is about how they feel in their heart. And Seth marrying Lelua, I don't think she stayed ugly. I think that was Cain's interpretation at first.
Okay, I went
off track. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, Seth has no interest in getting married.
Yeah.
He
There's
in
a little
verse
bit of evidence there,
verse
you're right.
7, yeah, or chapter 7, it says Adam was kind of talking to his son because he's like, oh, I don't want to get married, and he says, Adam tells him, "There's no disgrace in it. I wish thee to marry, from fear lest the enemy overcome thee." I don't know,
I like that
And
one.
then it says in verse 4, Seth, however, did not wish to marry, but in obedience to his father and mother, he said not a word. And so Adam married him to Aclea. Oh, Aclea. Lulua.
So he-
Lulua. Okay, Lulua ended up.
Marrying Cain.
Cain did end up going off with her.
I thought he got his wish.
And I don't even know if they went off just yet. We'll see in a little bit.
Okay.
If
They were young still, right?
Yeah, because Cain at the time was 15 when he killed.
Yes.
And what's his name was 12.
He grew up
Okay,
real fast.
so Adam married Seth to Aclea, and he was 15 years old. So you got to remember, okay, she's at least 13 years older than him, right?
Yes.
But if they're living to hundreds of years, what's 13 years?
Yeah, 13. What is it today?
But anyway, I mean, so we don't know why Seth didn't want to marry. But
I know why he didn't want to marry. You know why too. Right?
why? Because she was ugly?
No. Apparently she was. I don't know why that's an important thing in the story, but it keeps on mentioning that, right?
Oh, it's important.
No, I think that this text we talked about earlier in a different episode, maybe the first episode, but this text is from the 3rd century, right? So I think there was kind of in Christianity, there was kind of a, like, hey, it's not good to be with, like, a woman. Like that's like the natural self who has those impulses. The more righteous you are, the less you want to be in. I don't want to say that. I'm trying to make this rated G, right? But
Make love.
sex is bad,
Oh,
right?
okay.
And so at the same time, we have like monks and priests who are taking vows of celibacy. And basically, we even have earlier in the story Adam having the kids, and then okay, we're done now.
Yeah, and then God takes away their animal lusts too. He prays.
And Adam's like, yeah, I don't, and he has to stay away from Eve because he's afraid of being tempted.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think that my opinion is that the author of this story is basically saying, hey, these men were so righteous that they really didn't have any lustful tendencies at all. And so when they had kids, it was out of duty. When they got married, it's because father commanded it. But it's not because they wanted to,
Oh, okay. Well,
that might have been
maybe he just didn't want to get married. But who knows? They don't leave. Yeah. He just
go a lot
has.
deeper than I guess.
Huh?
I guess we could go a lot. We could theorize all we want about why, but I guess what matters is for some reason he did not want to get married.
He just wasn't interested. Well, 15 years old, man. What do you want to do?
He's still trying. He's still making forts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was young. It was just
point.
he said, for whatever reason, did not. They say though he did not wish to marry, but in obedience to his father and mother, he said not a word. He didn't even say I do. So anyway, but then they have kids.
Yeah.
Or a
he
kid.
He does it.
Wait, Seth, bring thy children. Oh, wait. And so they have kids, and so now this is because Adam's going to die, and he lived 900 and some odd years, right?
Yeah.
So from chapter 7, where he has a kid, to chapter 8, all of a sudden Adam's saying, call your children and your children's children's children to me.
Time goes by.
So it's been it's been hundreds of years.
Yeah.
So, so Adam's gonna die, and he wants to kind of talk, as you said earlier that they do. They always want to talk to their kids and be like, give them their wisdom and prophesy and stuff.
Lay their hands on their head and
So-
bless them and so forth.
We're gonna need a ginger beer though.
Oh, I was wondering what was missing here. Yeah,
Can't talk.
Yeah.
So anyway, I got.
Oh, yeah,
They're right there. They're right there. Sorry. You've been waiting for me.
Is this your way of asking me to pull them out? 'Cause I didn't know they're over here.
Yeah, well they are.
Which one do you want?
Let's do the reeds because I want to
The
try.
other one's.
The cock and bull.
Yeah.
Okay, so I ended up managing to procure Reed's craft ginger beer. It's a Jamaican one.
And these are the extra bite. Have the extra bite.
You know what? They do have just a twist off cap. Yes.
Oh, do they? These are regular caps?
But it's easier just to do that sometimes. But so let's just. So and I remember these ones are nice and spicy. Let's see.
Yeah, I've had these.
Oh yeah, they're good.
Craft ginger beer.
Yeah, and not quite
You know
as
what?
spicy as I thought, but
Yeah. This extra 100% more ginger. This extra ginger is not as ginger-y as.
I wonder if there's like a secret where
I
you're
recall.
supposed to. Because I think that one you're supposed to like tip it upside down and it.
Let the ginger sediment.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Well,
Put my
it's too-
finger in it.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, now that we've done that, yeah, it's not as spicy as I thought.
No, it's pretty good though.
It's good.
It's actually smooth. I wasn't expecting a smooth ginger beer, but that's pretty smooth.
This episode brought to you by Reed's
Reeds.
Extra, but they have a stronger one. I don't want to try. Anyway, okay, so Adams calls all his kids in, and he makes his request to his kids, which is really interesting.
About the burying.
Yeah. So, chapter 8, verses, well, we don't have 9 through 13.
Yeah.
Well, he's talking to Seth in 9. He says, "The moment I am dead, take ye my body and wind it up with myrrh and aloes and cassia, and leave me here in this cave of treasures, in which are all these tokens which God gave us from the garden."
Yeah, all their collection, the collection of the last 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Of gifts and
So,
treasure.
He's basically, that's where wants him to keep his body and kind of mummify it or anoint it with these oils. And when he actually finally dies in chapter 9 verse 5, he says, Seth wound him up well and embalmed him with plenty of sweet spices from sacred trees and from the holy mountain, and he laid his body on the eastern side of the inside of the cave, the side of the incense, and placed it in front of him a lamp stand kept burning. So anyway, he mummifies him.
Yeah.
But okay,
wrapped
so
him up in linens and embalmed him.
the thing is that Adam asked him to keep his body in the cave of treasures until verse 10 of chapter 9. Can you read that?
Verse
Word.
10 of 9? In my version, I don't have it.
Verse 10 of 8.
Oh.
Sorry.
You mean verse 10 of 10?
Gosh dang it.
Here, we're off.
Roman numerals, chapter 8,
Yeah.
I.
Oh, got it.
Verse 10 through 13. Because this is where he makes his prophecy. He asks him.
Okay, you're right.
Okay, so.
Okay. Seth, my son, the moment I am dead, take you my body and wrap it up with myrrh, aloes, and cassia, and leave me here in this cave of treasures, in which all the tokens which God gave us from the garden.
Oh, but we're
Good
but
gosh.
10 is where he starts saying, "I want you to do something else," and giving his prophecy about the flood.
Verse 10, right?
Yeah, verse 10. Okay, so he says, "Oh,
I
my
didn't
son."
see any prophecy in this. That's why I'm confused. Go ahead.
Okay. "Oh, my son, hereafter shall a flood come and overwhelm all creatures and leave out only 8 souls." That's prophecy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he says, "But my son, let those whom it will leave out from among the children at that time take my body with them out of this cave." And,
yeah, you're right.
"And when they have taken it with them, let the oldest among them, who's Seth, or not Seth, Shem, right? Command his children to lay my body in a ship until the flood has been assuaged," or subsided.
Yeah. That's
And then
crazy.
they come out of the ship. Okay,
This is crazy.
"And they shall take my body and lay it in the middle of the earth shortly after they have been saved from the waters of the flood. And for the place where my body shall be laid is the middle of the earth, and God shall come from thence and shall save all our kindred." So he wants him to, he knows that he prophesies there's going to be a flood,
Yeah.
and for some reason he wants him to take his body through the flood and rebury it.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
In a ship, he said.
Yeah, the Noah's Ark.
Yeah.
Wait, what are you thinking?
I don't know if I want to say it here.
Oh, well, anyway, so
I have
but I'm
Yeah.
saying it's the Noah's story. He's prophesying of the flood according to this.
So I don't like to. I really. I don't want to talk about things that I can't back up, right?
Okay.
You know, I don't want to say something and I'm just like way off.
All right. Well, then we don't have to.
Because I'm very,
or else we can save that for the smorgasbord.
We can save it for the smorgasbord, but
where we just talk about all kinds of stuff.
I have something to say about
remember,
this.
or make a note, or write down that you want to talk about. Because I'm interested.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I might have to Google a few things
Right.
before I talk about it,
well, I'm just saying, just write down. If something comes up, just write down, and we can talk about it in the
wow, look at all
smorgasbord.
this note paper you have.
I know. Actually, maybe we should. Anyway, just write on there. But okay, so you have Adam asking him, and that the place where they lay his body is the middle of the earth,
Yeah.
and that God shall save his people from there, or whatever. Whether or not,
Which is kind of interesting,
which,
right?
which maybe is Jerusalem, or which is the Middle East somewhere, or Turkey. And actually, like, anyway, now I'm thinking of smorgasbord stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
there's the whole Gobekli Tepe.
Yeah,
And,
keep it on
Okay.
track here.
So
You gotta stay on track.
anyway, so Adam goes on in chapter 15 to say, hey, okay, sever. Okay, this is where I was saying I wasn't sure if they had separated from Cain yet,
Okay, yeah.
because in 15 of chapter
Yeah.
8
Basically,
he says,
ditch
sever
Cain.
thy children and thy children's children from Cain's children. Do not let them ever mix with them, nor come near them, either in their words or in their deeds.
Yeah, just to even talk.
Yes.
Don't even talk to them.
So whether or not they were separated, he gave a warning. Either he told them to separate from them, or he said, we're separated from them, and stay away from them. And they keep on repeating this. Every time somebody dies,
Yeah,
stay
no.
away. Stay away.
Don't go near them.
So,
You know, this reminds me of that TV show Lost. When you got these people on the island and they're like staying away from the others. Isn't that? Did you ever see that show?
mm-hmm. The us.
The
The
others.
guy kept saying that.
What do you keep on saying?
Us. He couldn't speak English. He was a Japanese guy.
Oh yes,
Us.
that's right. I forgot about that.
Anyway,
Yeah, so I get
Okay.
that point too.
so there's that, but then there's this is the most interesting of interesting things.
Whoa, are you sure? Are you sure?
Yeah, this is.
Okay.
This is. I mean, I was like, what? Because whenever we started into the book of Adam and Eve, the first one, one of the first things they get is from God is these tokens, these gifts from three angels.
The convenient gifts.
I mean, turn your mind back to back whenever we.
You have that soap nearby in case you need it. Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
But when Michael, who were the ones that
was it Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael?
Yeah. Yeah. Where they came down and gave Adam and Eve frankincense, gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
Oh, those three things. Oh, wow.
Those three random things
yeah.
that were, but then we talked about it too. They made the illusion that they are the same gifts that would be presented to Jesus. You know,
Correct.
that these three, that there'd be random gold, frankincense, and myrrh. There'll be a token. You know, they'll mean something. And actually, I got this gold, frankincense, or not gold, but frankincense.
Oh, there's
and
gold
myrrh.
in that.
So anyway,
I wash myself with
it's
gold.
like soap good enough for God, for the King of Kings. But anyway, but
so you thought that was kind of interesting how they once again.
Okay, yeah, this? Because Adam insists. Hey, in verse 17, he says, "Preserve this gold, this incense, and this myrrh. Those who shall go into the ark shall take with them the gold, the incense, the myrrh, together with my body, and will lay the gold, the incense, and the myrrh with my body in the midst of the earth." Okay, so can you read verse 18 of that? Are you?
Yeah, I did. I'll get back to this later then. 18. Then after a long time, the city in which the gold, the incense, and the myrrh are found with my body shall be plundered. But when it is spoiled, the gold, the incense, and the myrrh shall be taken care of with the spoil that is kept, and none of them shall perish, until the made man from the word of God shall come. And king shall take them, and shall offer to him gold in token of his being king, incense in token of his being God of heaven and earth, and myrrh in token of his passion.
Okay. I don't know if the way yours is worded is a little different.
Yeah.
But it's saying that this is taken. There's going to be the city that it's in is going to be spoiled, but the gold, the frankincense, and the myrrh are still going to exist, right? Okay. But when it is spoiled, the gold, the incense, and the myrrh shall be taken care of with the spoil that is kept, and not of them shall perish. So they'll still be good.
Yeah.
And he says, until the word of God made man shall come. And then, whenever Jesus comes,
mm-hmm.
these the very same gifts are going to be brought. I mean, not the same ones. They are the
correct
gold, frankincense, and myrrh that Adam had given to him by the angels. They're the actual gifts that are given to Jesus.
So these, according to the story,
I don't know if it makes sense.
in this nativity story, which is actually, I don't think it's nativity, but in this Jesus story, wise men bring these gifts to Jesus, and when he's like a child, right?
Yeah.
So I guess, yeah, this is why you said this is the most interesting of interestings.
Well, I just thought it was interesting because there's the actual...
Yeah.
It wasn't the likeness of the gifts or the same kind of gifts. It was the actual gifts that were brought all the way through the flood, 5,500 years later, 5.5 days of God saves, but 5,500 years later, brought through the flood, buried with Adam, taken up, but the things were still preserved, and then whenever Jesus is born, they're brought to him.
Yeah,
the wise
men had collected them and were waiting to give them to. I don't want to get all religious and stuff, but that's what it sounds like.
That's all I'm saying.
There was
like what?
Some kind of prophecy. The wise men knew what they were going to be doing. Whoever these wise men were, they collected these three items, whether they were all together or whether they had been separated, but they grabbed them and they bring them to baby Jesus or
2-year-old
young child, Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is that it wasn't enough back whenever we were reading it, like that. Oh yeah, obviously the three gifts they're given are these. You know, there we can see the crystal illusions, and then also in the second book you find out, oh, the three gifts that Jesus is given are the actual same physical gifts that Adam was given.
Yeah.
So you're just like, okay,
I agree.
Anyway,
it's pretty. I agree that that's pretty interesting, and we always have to with these stories. I think it's actually better to just assume that they're fiction.
Well,
sometimes you wonder, like, what, is this the author just make this up out of his creativity, or was there some kind of like, was this a concept that had been talked about before?
Well, yeah, because whenever we're reading these, we're just kind of like these are
was it the creative liberty? Like, hey, let's do this.
We take it at face value that okay, it happened. But then in the next book that we teach or talk about, it might be a totally different thing that contradicts what we had previously read. But we'll just take it at face value and say, okay, well, obviously they're saying that it came all the way through.
Yeah,
so
that's pretty cool.
But the thing is that this place where Adam's buried would be a sacred place. And with these things, so it would be preserved. So it could have been preserved. I don't know, 5,500 years though is a long time. Actually, it was not quite. It's 4,500 years because Adam's 900 and some odd years. Anyway, it's still a long time to be able to preserve frankincense, myrrh,
you'd have to
gold, no problem. But
that would have to be a pretty strong.
But actually, I was looking at this thing on frankincense and myrrh, and they're like sap from trees, so it's a really
yeah. I already know where you're going. That there's no reason why that won't
stay. Yeah. So I was like, what is frankincense? Because I was thinking of like an incense stick, and all
correct.
Like modern.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was one of the more interesting things. I was like, wait, so these gifts are literally the gifts that Adam was given by three angels.
Yeah, I think it's pretty neat.
And
I want to admit to you that I did not catch that before. Like when I read through this, I'm gonna admit it right here.
What, Brandon? You're not paying attention.
Yeah, when I read through this, it did not dawn on me that they were referring to these three literal gifts.
Yeah,
they're gonna be the same ones.
No, I didn't realize it until this last time too. Because I was like, wait, because I had a big smile on my face when I read it. I was like, what? That's crazy.
This is not a diet.
I know.
So
the cock and the other one we have, it's called one. Cock and bull. It is diet.
Well, in the reeds, the other ones you get, what kind you get?
They have, huh? The other ones are diet.
What do they have that on there? Is it a penguin?
Oh yeah, dang it, I can't remember what it is. Oh, but no, there's the one with the seal, Goslings.
That's what I'm thinking of. That's not a penguin, a seal.
Anyway, okay.
I'm taking this off track.
let's just talk about ginger beer. And he insists that he's buried with the Goslings ginger beer that is served at Jesus' wedding now.
The Gosling ginger beer.
So anyway, okay, so in chapter 9, the death of Adam took place at the end of 930 years.
Yeah.
And Seth, like I said in verse 5, embalmed him with plenty of sweet spices, sacred trees, holy mountain, laid his body on the eastern side of the cave, the side of incense, and placed in front of him a lamp kept burning. So there was like the cave of treasures where they had already gone to pray and kind of anoint their children with these different things became even more sacred because they had Adam's embalmed body in it. And they not only that, but they kept this lamp burning, so it became a new sacred relic. So you got these relics. So there's this cave that they would go to, now becoming like a sanctuary or chapel or somewhere, a sacred place.
You kind of get the feeling of This is kind of like the birth of religion.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like there's this sacred place, this cave that you go to get away or whatever. You know, it used to be their house, but.
So yeah, I think that it's interesting that over time we're seeing more and more things become sacred.
Mm-hmm.
Where at first what we had was just this dull, boring cave that Adam used to complain about how boring it was.
Yeah, it was just the cave of darkness.
Like this cave sucks. Why are we here?
Yeah.
And over time it becomes like a sacred place.
Yeah, and actually whenever they actually ended up moving out of it back in the first book, and kind of once they start putting stuff in it and using it for worship, they're living under that rock that Satan tried to throw on them, and God made into a. Anyway,
I just had an idea, but we'll talk about it later.
Okay. Let's just not talk about anything you want to talk about. How about that?
Yeah, it's not good. You gotta get it over with.
Okay, so this is interesting because all of a sudden you start to get established what life is like up on the mountain, and it's kind of different because remember whenever Adam and Eve were they were growing wheat and stuff. It almost, to me, it seemed like there was this second Garden of Eden.
Yeah.
That they were living in.
A not so Garden of Eden.
Well,
right?
pretty close. Okay, so
there's a mention of that. You know, when they had to come down from time to time, right?
Well, I mean, I wanted to skip over that whole thing where Seth goes, is tricked by the devil.
Okay, yeah, but there's also the part where Seth basically is talking about how they just basically eat fruit.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this is interesting because Seth and his children did not like earthly work.
Yes, they did not like to work.
God, what did God say?
Yeah.
By the fruit of thy brow shalt thou earn thy bread all the days of thy life, and then all of a sudden. So it's like they're almost like lazy, not lazy, but
yeah, it's almost like that things have switched and turned around a little bit.
Well, yeah, because it says they didn't like earthly work, but gave themselves to heavenly things. Okay, so they're forsaking the earthly, and so maybe it's not quite what I was thinking, where it was like, oh, they're just lazy.
Yeah,
and they had no other thought than praises, doxologies, and psalms unto God. So they're concentrating on the higher things, I guess. And therefore they did they at all times hear the voices of angels praising and glorifying God. Okay, so here's kind of read verse 10 of that chapter. 10 through 12 is kind of the state of these people of 11. Yeah.
11?
Well, 10 through 12.
Seth and his children lived on the mountain below the garden. Yes, that's one thing that I never noticed from before, right?
Oh, yeah.
That the garden was actually higher up on the mountain.
Uh-huh.
Was that something that
fall of man.
It was a literal...
Maybe, I don't know. Like they literally fell.
But no, what I'm saying is in the first book of Adam and Eve, when they left the garden, was there ever a discussion on them like just going down the mountain a little bit?
I never even, but in the first book of Adam and Eve, it doesn't even talk about it. They're outside of it. They're already kicked out. Remember? They're outside the gates or whatever.
Okay. They did not sow nor reap. They made no food for the body, not even wheat, but only enough for offerings. They ate the flavorful fruit of trees that grew on the mountain where they lived. Want to do the fasting one too?
Huh? Yeah.
The Seth often fasted for 40 days, as did also his oldest children. The family of Seth smelled the smell of the trees in the garden when the wind blew that way.
Mm-hmm.
Keep on going?
Yeah, because this is kind of their... I just want to get a sense of their state.
I feel like we're in church and you're asking me to read.
Please, Brandon, go on.
Okay. They were happy, innocent, without sudden fear. There was no jealousy, nor evil action, nor hatred among them. there was no animal passion. No one among them spoke either foul words or curse. There was neither evil intention nor fraud. The men of that time never swore, but when under hard circumstances, when men must swear, they swore by the blood of Abel the just.
Okay, so yeah, that's interesting. It's like I said, the kind of this second garden where they're just picking fruit, just doing enough.
Did you purposely skip have me stop at the verse, at the most interesting verse?
Oh no, go
verse 13. Or do you want to take the glory and read that one? This is the interesting one, right?
It is. Okay, I'll read it.
This is the one that's interesting.
It is?
Yeah.
But they constrain their children and their women every day in the cave to fast and pray and to worship the Most High God. They blessed themselves, in the body of their father Adam and anointed themselves with it. Oh, yeah. Actually, I guess that's in my notes, huh?
Yeah.
Where they were kind of, what is going on? What are they doing with the body of Adam? Anyway.
Is there a translator or editor's note?
I don't have one. What do you got? Oh, you have one?
Yeah, I got one.
Sweet.
Because that seems kind of weird, right?
Oh.
Anointing yourself with the body
Yeah,
of
because
Adam.
I was like, what?
It is unclear what the men anointed themselves with. It could be oil blessed by being left close to the body of Adam. To think that they anointed themselves with the oils from the dead body would violate religious laws that would be established later than the story, yet far earlier than the writing of this 3rd century text.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because whenever I read that, I was like, wait, what are they doing with the body?
Yeah.
Maybe they were just anointing the... I don't know. Anyway.
I'm going to turn a blind eye on that wording. I don't want to think that they were actually using the body to anoint themselves with. They're probably just like what the author here, Joseph Lumpkin, said.
Necromancy.
Yeah, I don't want to believe there's necromancy going on here.
Yeah.
I do. I don't have a problem though with them having this oils that are.
Well, obviously they're using
near the body.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so
it's a weird topic.
Yeah. Now I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, I should not have read that verse.
No, it's fine. It is what it is. They're obviously, Adam's body's in there. They've got it anointed with the oil and everything. So it's some kind of sacred relic,
Yeah.
And but the interesting thing though is that the garden, it's where does it say it talks about spiritual cubits? The garden is only
that's in the next
66 feet away.
Yeah.
60, just a little over a half a football field away, so they're able up on the mount to smell the sweet savors coming down, from the garden. Anyway,
I'm not sure. But it does mention that distance.
Well,
66 cubits. It says. There it is.
Yeah,
66. We actually skipped.
No, it said 15 spiritual cubits, which a spiritual cubit is.
Oh, that's right. Heavenly cubits.
Like
1 spiritual cubit is equal to 3 cubits of man. Altogether, 45 cubits.
Yeah, and then 45 cubits is. I did the math. A cubit is 17.6 inches, or a large cubit is 20.6. So anyway, I just went with the small cubit or the regular cubit because it's like the measurement from here to here, or from your elbow, the bend of your elbow to the top of your hand is a cubit. And so generally it's 17.6 inches, and 17.6 inches is 792. It ends up being 792 inches, which is 66 feet.
Good math.
I actually sat down and did.
Did you do it on paper with or did you use a calculator?
I used the little calculator on my phone.
But
I had to look at the cubit, and I'm like, okay.
Did you write an equation to get you so you can do that faster next time?
No.
Oh.
I'm not that good at math. So, yeah, so 45 times 17.6
It's deep, man. I don't even know.
Oh, is that some kind of sacred number? I don't know. But anyway, so they were right by it, but it was up above them.
Yeah.
And so it was hard, but they were able to sometimes smell the savor, the sweet savor.
It smells so good up there.
But so you have these guys living up there, and then all of a sudden you have Cain. Cain's children had a large progeny, for they married frequently, being given to animal lusts until the land below the mountain was filled with them.
Yeah, they just kept on having kids.
They were just giving in, while Seth and them. No wonder it doesn't take long for. Anyway, did you want to kind of jump ahead onto what was going on down with the kids of Cain? Because this is the most important, or the.
You're talking about Lamech, or?
Oh, dang it! Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I wanted to say something about.
Yeah. Let's talk about the death of Cain.
Let me mention Lamech real quick here.
Yeah.
In chapter 13.
13.
Verse 1. I just feel like this was interesting. Okay. I don't want to say much more about it. Okay. I saw this and I even made a little note on it.
Okay.
It's probably because where I've been thinking lately. Verse 1, it says, Lamech the blind. What? That explains why he. Never mind. Do you think if he was literally blind, and that's why he probably killed him? Yeah.
Yeah.
Lamech the blind lived in those days.
Well, he wasn't blind, but he had really bad eyesight.
Yeah, he couldn't see very well. He was one of the sons of Cain. He had a son whose name was Atun, Atun.
Uh-huh.
And the two of them had many cattle.
Atun and
I think
Eve.
Atun is kind of I think the name Atun, Atun. I believe that's kind of it's a different name, right? Atun. It actually seems like
some kind of Egyptian.
It actually seems like an Egyptian name.
Okay.
That's all I wanted to say. I don't want to talk about it any further than that.
Oh yeah, you're just gonna get.
I just wanted to point out that it's an interesting name when you're having names like Adam, or I guess Adam is not as.
It's not that far away. No,
it's not that far away. In fact, we only think Adam. We think Adam is more of a, an Englishy type of name.
Yeah.
Just because we're so used to hearing it.
Uh-huh.
But you're right. Seth. Never mind. These are all pretty. Oh, good point. Adam, Abel. Never mind.
Okay. Well, anyway, so
I just derailed us for nothing.
Let's just keep talking about Lamech, because.
Yeah, Lamech is very important. I was calling him Lamech. Do you call him Lamech?
I call him.
Okay.
I don't claim to know. Okay, so he's got all these cattle. He what he does is he sends his kids out to watch them, make sure that they don't get.
Yeah.
And dang it, Mark.
He's going to get robbed.
Yeah, and okay.
Because among the children of Cain, there was lots of robbery.
Yeah. Oh yeah. As for me, I cannot feed those cattle alone, lest one rob me of some of them, or kill me for the sake of them. For among the children of Cain there was much robbery, murder, and sin. And this is one of his grandchildren that was asking Lamech for help. He's like, "Hey, it's scary out there. I'm a kid, and I'm afraid." So he went to his grandfather Lamech. He said, and in verse 3, Lamech pitied him and said, "Truly, he when alone might be overpowered by the men of this place." And so,
bad place.
What does Lamech do? He decides to go help him out.
Go out. Let me take my bow, grandson, which I think in my version they call him shepherd, young shepherd. Let me take my bow, young shepherd, and I'm gonna go hang out there with you. I can't see very well.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. In verse 4 it says, "So Lamech arose, took a bow he had kept ever since he was a youth, ere he became blind, before he became blind, and he took large arrows, smooth stones, and a sling, and he went with his young shepherd and placed himself behind the cattle." So what's happening with with Cain. Meanwhile, Cain, ever since God had cast him off and had cursed him with trembling and terror, could neither settle nor find rest in any one place, but wandered from place to place. And then in his wanderings, he comes to Lamech's wives. And verse 7.
And they said that, hey, he's in the field. He wanted to, was asking for Lamech?
Yeah.
So he's like, hey, where's my son? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Lamech. And Lamech's, one or more of Lamech's wives said, oh, he's in the field.
Yeah.
With the shepherd, with his son, grandson. So Cain went and wandered out there.
Yep. And
then Lamech, then the shepherd boy, or Lamech's grandson, or whatever, like,
yeah.
Oh, who is that coming? Is it a wild beast? Is that a robber?
Uh-huh.
And Lamech said, tell me when he gets here. And he didn't say this, but basically, hey, let me know when he's here and I'll take care of it.
Yeah,
so Lamech gets his bow ready, and then when Cain, summits the hill, or is in view, the shepherd says, there he is, and Lamech, with the true sight that he had been missing for so many years, was able to hit him.
Well, yeah, he can't. It seems like he could make out.
He sees
objects.
a shape. He sees like a shape.
Yeah,
like there it is.
But he can't. Like, so he's like, he can see kind of a shadow of a thing, but he can't make out exactly what it is. And the boys,
whatever the case is, he can do it.
So,
he did it.
Yeah. So he shoots. And in verse 11, Lamech shot at Cain with his arrow and hit him in his side, and Lamech struck him with a stone from his sling that fell upon his face and knocked out both his eyes. Then Cain fell at once and died.
Yeah, so that was that slingshot rock. Was it a rock?
Yeah, the sling rock.
It was able to take out both of his eyes. Do you think it bounced off one eye, hit the other, or do you just like hit him so hard that his eye just like?
Hey, what color were Cain's eyes when he was hit by the stone? Blue. One blew this way, the other blew that way.
Did you just make that up?
No, it was this old NASA joke. Anyway,
that's a joke you've heard before.
Yeah. But it goes. Anyway, but this is the weird thing. Okay, so all of a sudden, he kills Cain, and then they go up to check to see who it was what it was. Yeah. Okay, verse 12.
And he says,
at the end of it.
Yeah. It is Cain, our grandfather, whom you killed.
You're like, oh, you killed Cain, and then in 13.
So Lamech grieved bitterness and regret, and he clapped his hands together and struck the head of the youth with his flat palm, and the youth fell as if he were dead. I think that means that he died.
No,
right?
Not yet. Watch this.
Do I not? Really?
Yeah, keep going.
But Lamech thought the youth was pretending, so he took. That's okay. So he took took up the stone and struck him and smashed his head until he died.
So, I mean, I obviously he's like, okay, I just killed my dad. Is it? I mean, because Islamic, yeah, he's the son of Cain.
And I think that they also might have had their own religion brewing at this time, and part of their culture, part of their religion, had probably taught them that they're not supposed to kill Cain, right?
Oh yeah.
And like your fate will be, what is it? Many times greater.
Yeah, like God said with the.
Yeah, whoever kills you is gonna.
7 times punishment.
Yeah, so
or whatever.
I think that there could have been some culture here, and why when Lamech killed Cain, and he's like, "You stupid kid! You know what you just did? You just made me kill. First of all, I killed my dad.
Yeah.
And then also, like, now I'm worse off.
Isn't it like Oedipus? You know that old Greek thing where the guy kills his father, but he ends up marrying his mother too.
Oh, no,
It's this whole prophecy. But anyway, I think whenever he finds out he kills his father, and he's sleeping with his mother. Okay,
yeah, it's a weird story.
Pokes his eyes out and ends up. Anyway, but there's these weird stories where there's a lot of stories where these old stories where they kill their father unknowingly sometimes. And he didn't do it on purpose.
Oh yeah,
he was going out to help the kid.
He thought he could have been a robber or a bear or something.
Yeah, but he wasn't. It was Cain. So anyway,
sucks to be Lamech.
Yeah. Well, okay, let's get on to
and that kid.
Yeah,
right?
well, the kid's got it. I like how he's like claps his hands together and then hits him with the palm. I don't know if that was like
like a power move.
Like, yeah, to get the energy, you know.
Do you think he set a sound when he did it too?
Maybe. Could have.
Like some sacred power sound, like a rootkit or something.
A rookie. Does a fireball. Okay, so
that was good.
So there you go. Cain's dead.
Yep. So Cain's finally dead. He had been wandering around the earth, still having a relationship with people apparently.
Yeah.
But wandering.
Yeah,
around.
I mean the wives were like, "Oh, he's out in the field. Go talk to him." He can't. He seems to not be able to make a living.
Yeah.
Maybe he was like a drunk.
That's what it seems like.
Because he's like shaking, you know, like.
So there's.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying.
There's one rule in that culture. There was one rule: don't kill Cain.
Yeah.
You can kill whoever else you want.
You just freaking broke the one rule.
Yeah.
The second rule is see rule 1, or whatever.
Or don't talk about rule 1.
Yeah. No, that's Fight Club. But okay, so let's. Okay, so let's go on. Do you want to just skip over to...
yeah, skip the boring part.
Yeah, because there's another flood prophecy once Mahalalel, or is he the one that died?
It's Enos first.
Enos. Anyway, a couple of generations die.
Yeah, Enos dies, so this does the same
This
thing
is a
that,
long... This is
that
a lot.
Adam did.
Let's
Mahalalel
just jump into
dies.
the 1920s. Because that's where it gets interesting. Because
Jared comes after.
Can you name the generations of from Adam on?
I've never till today.
Okay, let's do it. Adam. Okay, actually, I have them written down.
Do you? You have a cheat
I
sheet?
swear I did.
So we go from Adam to Seth to Enos to Mahalalel to Jared, and I believe after Jared is it Enoch after Jared? But it doesn't talk about Enoch here.
It says that Enoch. Yeah, it does.
I mean, but it doesn't go. What I'm saying, it doesn't go past Enoch, I guess, right?
No, it doesn't. Yeah. Well, to Noah. No, it does talk about Noah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because is Noah the actual son? No, because anyway, let's not get. Oh, Seth, Enos, Canaan. Here's the generation.
Oh, we skipped Canaan.
Enos. Yeah, how dare you? Canaan, Mahalalel. I think of Mahalalel. Because there's that extra law in there. Enoch. All these guys were born when Seth dies. And then there's Enoch, somebody else, and Noah, because Noah's not the son of.
No, I think isn't there another Lamech?
Gosh, yeah. Oh yeah, that's what it is, Lamech. Yeah.
Lamech.
Not the one that killed Cain.
It's funny how there's a different Enochs and there's different Lamechs.
And there's a guy named one of the second.
Yeah.
Or one of the sons, Canaan.
There's a different Cain. Yeah.
So, anyway, there's all these generations going on. I mean, it's been hundreds of years. There's Jared is now leading the people up on the mountain.
Yep.
And he's commanding them, hey, do not hold intercourse with the people of Cain, children of Cain.
Don't do it.
Don't learn their ways. In chapter 19, verse 4, and they're still practicing the thing. Jared drew near with his children, took some fire, came down to the cave, lighted a lamp before the body of Adam. They're doing their things.
They're living their religion.
That is okay, but Jared knows that his children are going to go astray. Actually, what's his name? Told him
Mahalil prophesied about
hey, your kids are going to go astray, but he's doing everything in his power not to help them, even though they're going to. But in verse 8 through 9, can you? I don't know if you don't need to read it. Oh, okay, I'll read it. Chapter 9.
Chapter 9.
20 okay. Or 19. Okay, and Jared continued to teach his children 80 years, but after that they began to transgress the commandments he had given them and to do many things without his counsel. They began to go down from the holy mountain one after another and to mix with the children of Cain in foul fellowships.
This one says in obscene association.
Ooh, foul fellowships or obscene associations. They both sound cool. And now the reason for which the children of Jared went down the holy mount is this, that we will now reveal unto you. So they set it up and they're like, okay, now we're going to tell you what was going on. And this is interesting because there's this, how life is down in Cain's world. Can you get me a ginger beer?
Yeah. You want a
cock and bull, please?
Oh, yeah.
I need some strength.
Here, show that one on the.
Yeah, it's got a cock and a bull. So, anyway, let's see.
Since 1946.
Oh,
it's legit, man.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, that's good. That's got more flavor to it. I don't know why the reeds just fell flat for me.
They might have. What?
You're gonna like it. I guarantee it.
Let me finish my reeds real quick.
Don't waste your time.
You know what? I don't think that the Reed's Extra is that smooth and mild.
You said it was.
No. What I'm saying, I don't think it's supposed to be. I think that these might have been a little bit of you might have gotten a little bit of a flat batch.
A bad batch. Hey, that happens. But this one's like, woo. It's good.
This is legit.
Cock and bull.
Oh, and it's 100% natural ginger flavor. Yeah, I like that one better.
Yeah, it's got that good spice, and yeah, it's good. Okay, so down below the mountain, this holy mountain where they're...
So, you want to go in 20?
Yeah.
So, Cain had gone down to the land of dark soil. Remember that?
Yeah.
Isn't that profound at all? Dark soil?
No.
We'll wait for the smorgasbord on that one.
The smorgasbord.
And his children had multiplied. Can you make a note for me on dark soil?
Okay.
There was one of them whose son was Genun, son of Lamech the blind, who slew Cain.
So you say Genun? Okay.
Genun.
I was trying to figure out how to say that. So he was... Okay, okay.
Satan came to Genun in his childhood and made a variety trumpets and horns and string instruments, cymbals and psalteries and lyres and harps and flutes. And Genum played them at all times and every hour.
So they're first...
His name is supposed to be Jubal, isn't it?
Well, in different books they have actually these different... They keep... In this one, they stick with him doing all of that stuff. And like the book of like Enoch, or is it even in the Bible?
In the book of Genesis, they have. I don't think they only have a guy named Jubal.
Yeah, or two. Yeah.
Well, they have Tubal as well.
Actually, that is.
But there was one who was proficient with the musical instruments.
Yeah, they have. But him, they're putting everything on.
They're giving Genun everything.
Genun. Okay, yeah, they're putting everything. Because Lamech. Oh, here's the story of Lamech. Oh no, that's done. Anyway, keep going.
Okay, and So, first of all, it's saying that Satan was the originator of musical instruments, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That he put it in. He came to Ganun. Is that how we're gonna say it?
We should both say it the same way. So let's say
Yeah.
Genun.
Okay. He came to him in his childhood and taught him how to make trumpets, horns, string instruments, cymbals, lyres, harps. So is the influence under the influence of Satan that he was made these things. So but then he also in verse 5
What else did he do?
taught him to make bring strong drink out of corn.
Yeah. And then he used to use this to bring crowds together and drink, and brought into their hands the kinds of fruits and flowers, and they drank together.
Yeah.
So now it's becoming clear what was going on. What was happening down below down
like
the mountain.
in Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's that bar they go into.
All these weird looking people in there and the cantina, whatever.
But not only, and then in 6 he goes on and he multiplies.
Yes. And then he acted with pride and taught the children of Cain to commit all manner of the grossest wickedness, which they did not know until then, and he put them up to all kinds of deeds which they did not know before.
And in 7, this is where it's
okay, and then Satan saw that they obeyed Genon and listened to him and everything he told them, and he rejoiced greatly, and he increased Genon's understanding until he took iron, and with it made weapons of war.
Yeah. So they're putting all this on him. This guy was like just the genius. He came up with music, bars, basically, and instruments. And then with these things, verse 8 says, then they were drunk. When they were drunk, hatred and murder increased among them. One man used violence against another to teach him evil, taking his children and defiling them before him.
Yeah.
So these guys are like doing all kinds of. I mean, in verse 10, a man married his own sister. Well, I mean, this is obviously maybe that became a taboo later because at first they had to marry their sisters.
Yeah.
But or daughter or mother, and their father, sister, blah blah. So all of a sudden all these relationships became blurred. So that's what's going on down below, and while everybody up in the mountain is like eating fruit and worshiping.
I think that this story might have made a mistake with putting it all on Genon.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make what doesn't make sense to me is it mentions Genon in the music, and that he created an atmosphere of people kind of coming together and having a good time, right? And then it mentions that he also made these weapons of war.
Yeah, he did it all.
But the thing is then the weapons of war caused there to be. It goes into like how things became really bad and wicked.
Yeah.
Right? But then the people that were victims of this wickedness would find refuge
with him.
With Genon.
Yeah, that's an interesting.
And so
that's actually.
I think that there's a mistake. I think they've missed a point. The author of the book probably missed somebody, or else was wrong. I think that because, like we said, in other texts, there's more than one. They don't put all of these.
Yeah, they have different people
they don't
inventing.
credit for everything.
Yeah. So anyway, that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Because even in 11, Genon is the mastermind behind luring the children down from the mountain.
Yeah, because they play like concerts at the base of the mountain.
Yeah.
Right. That's what it says.
Yeah.
In verse 11, they basically they do it at the very foot of the mountain. They get their music and instruments, and they play music, and they have these concerts
at the foot of the holy mountain. They did so so they gathered in companies upon and played their horns on all the other instruments at the foot of the mountain, and They did so in order that the children of Seth who were on the holy mountain should hear it. So I was sitting there like, and this is where that little gradual, this is interesting, where when in 12 it says, when the children of Seth heard the noise, they wondered and came by companies and stood on the top of the mountain to look at those below. And they did thus a whole year. So they're just sitting there looking like, what the heck are they doing down there? Like, I think Porter said that this is like the first carnivals. That they are basically having a carnival down there.
Well, yeah, and I think the name that we have in the book of Genesis is, I think I'm pretty sure it's Jubal. But then you get the,
Jubilee.
Yeah, you get like festivities and stuff.
I know, and I was trying to find that in I can't. There's so little stuff in here because you have Enoch. Okay, looked in wise flesh. Yeah, it doesn't. I don't even know if it even said. You might be. I don't even think it says anything about this coming down except for the children of God. Anyway, so this is the first. So anyway, so the children of God are up on the mountain.
Playing instruments and they're dancing.
Yeah.
In the picture.
Yeah.
At the base of the mountain.
Well, yeah, because now these guys have come down. Because look, that's not much of a mountain. There's the mountain.
No, but they're still kind of like keeping themselves safe.
Yeah, but that's
we're showing this picture again. We're looking at that picture.
But so yeah, they're sitting there gathering down, and they're like for a whole year. They're just like, what the heck is going on down there?
They're watching the shows, but they're not like participating.
And then, in verse 13, it goes on to say that he saw Genun.
Yeah.
Saw that they were won over a little bit, or that they were interested, and then Satan.
Come and make dyes.
Yeah, it goes into his heart. He says, yeah, dyeing stuff for garments for diverse patterns.
Yeah. And
how to dye crimson and purple and whatnot.
Yeah, so it's like fancy clothing.
All of a sudden, so he's like, okay, they're interested. They're watching. And all of a sudden, let's really, like, all of a sudden, it's like from Wizard of Oz where you go from black and white to Technicolor. All of a sudden, that's what happens here is all of a sudden he's like, let's really, this year, let's make the carnival big. And all of a sudden they bring out these dyes and they
got them right there.
Yeah, like in 14 it says, and the sons of Cain who wrought all this and shone in the beauty and gorgeous apparel gathered together at the foot of the mountain in splendor with horns and gorgeous dresses and horse races. This is where committing all manner of abominations. So there's all this stuff. Horse races, beautiful clothes, music. All kinds of abominations.
Basically,
alcohol.
A fair.
Yeah, it's just going nuts.
Do you think that they had a Ferris wheel?
Yes. Why not?
Why not?
They had like a horse-drawn Ferris wheel. I don't know how that would work. How would that work? Oh, you know what? Actually, I was at a Renaissance fair, and actually the guy would... Like they had a crank or something.
Yeah, they have ways of doing
that.
Yeah,
so actually, yeah. Yep, they did. They definitely had a Ferris wheel.
Sounds like a good time.
But, so in 15, there's the new thing, and the children of Seth are like, oh, shoot.
Yeah, so meanwhile, the children of Seth, when they were on the mountain, and...
Oh, wait, this is actually them.
Yeah, and they praised God. They were praying in the holy mountain, praising God in the place of the host of angels who had fallen.
Oh, wait, that wasn't the one.
No, you misled me there.
Well, actually, I was... Because in the Bible, there's this part where the children, sons of God, or the children of God, there's a part where... and I think this interpreted... Like, and it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, the daughters were born unto them. That the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he is also flesh. So, this story, and then they become giants later. But I think this is that version where you have the children of God up on the mountain. You have the children of men down below, the children of Cain.
Mm-hmm.
So this is explaining, they're looking down and they're seeing this, and the gorgeous dresses, beautiful dresses. Music, horse races,
the hats,
alcohol, the hats. That's what got them. But and they're just like, and they're looking down and they're seeing this, and eventually it gets to them. But it says that this verse 15 is the one that I was saying, that God called them angels. So the angels of God, there's the rumor that angels of God, actual angels, came down.
Yeah, the confusion that we have with
God.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know if that clarifies, but okay. So then there's a gradual fall in verse 16. That's where I meant.
But after this time, they no longer kept his commandment, nor were held by the promise he had made to their fathers, but they relaxed from their fasting and praying, and from the counsel of Jared their father. And they kept on gathering together on top of the mountain, to watch the children of Cain from morning until evening. And they watched what they did, and they looked at their beautiful dresses and ornaments.
Yeah.
They were just gawking at that. It couldn't last. They're not going to last long now.
Yeah. And then whenever the children of Cain see this, they look up, and they saw them standing there. And now they're standing, not just a couple, they're standing in troops on top of the mountain, like just this big old group going, oh my gosh, look, can you believe they just did that? That's awesome. That's crazy. And they called to them. Are you going to be
at church today? No, we're going to be hanging out.
We're just going to...
We're going to hang out at the edge of the mountain and watch the show.
And then they call up to the children of God on the mountain, and they say, come down. And they're like, well, we can't.
We're not allowed.
But... And this is where, because a group of guys determines, we're going to go down. Screw this. And they go to their father Seth. And in 24, verse 24.
They go to Jared.
Not Seth.
They go to the cave and talk to Jared.
100 men of the children of Seth gathered together and said among themselves, come, let us go down to the children of Cain and see what they do and enjoy ourselves with them. Because they had said... from the point they're looking at, there's no way down. But then Satan tells the children, if you go backwards to the west, down, there's this river. And so I'm like, you probably have to float down the river or something, but it's one you can't get back up. So, but they decided, we're going to go down. 100 guys are like, okay, we've been looking at this for over a year. It looks so much fun.
This is going to be a blast.
And they go and tell Jared, or Jared finds out, and he's upset. And he warns them. He said in verse 26, he says, once you go down from this holy mountain, God will not allow you to return to it again.
You can't return to the mountain.
Yeah. So he says, the moment you leave it, you shall no longer be called the children of God, but the children of the devil. And so these guys are like, we can't resist, man.
They didn't.
Have you seen the silks, the scarlets, all the stuff? Dude, they even deep fried a Twinkie down there. Deep fried Twinkies. Okay, Brandon.
They even deep fried a Twinkie.
I don't even know what a Twinkie is, but they deep fried it, man. So in 31 through 33's what happens. They go down.
Yeah, so did you mention that it was Enoch who was basically saying you can't come back?
No, I thought it was Enoch. Well, this is Jared that said that, but then Enoch in 29 he starts saying, so Enoch kind of starts finding his voice too. Hey guys, because then he says the same thing. So you're right.
So basically Enoch is
starting his ministry,
and he's kind of. It appears that he's kind of not. He's not going to only say, you won't be able to come back, but he's also like enforcing it. Like, yeah, you're out. Like, there's a zero tolerance here. And so when I read that, I was thinking about the story of the city of Enoch and like how they were taken up.
Oh.
And like I've always thought to myself, this whole city of Enoch idea, like, well, how they couldn't. How would you have a group of people with like, how would you have a group of people that none of them, they were all as righteous as they needed to be. There wasn't like a few among how was there no drunks in that city, right? I think there'd be a few people who are not like living up to the code. But if Enoch has like this thing like, hey, you go out, you can't come back. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no tolerance, zero tolerance.
Yeah. So.
Well, and part of the reason that maybe, okay.
That's what I thought.
He's kind of like a tough love.
Because if you bring back those clothes and that music, and you bring all that stuff back with you and those ideas, and you bring a wife back from among those people and stuff.
Yeah,
we're not going to be able to
downhill.
We can't keep this together anymore.
Well, yeah, we're seeing it fall apart right here. Because in 31, they looked on the daughters of Cain. They're beautiful figures.
Yeah.
Hubba hubba.
Their tattoos.
Yeah, their hands and feet dyed with color, tattooed in ornaments on their faces. Face tattoos? All right. But ornaments on their faces.
Maybe that means makeup too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The fire of sin was kindled in them. And then Satan made them look most beautiful before the sons of Seth. And the sons of Seth appear of the fairest in the eyes of the daughters of Cain.
Yeah, so they were attractive to the daughters.
Ooh, look at these hunks.
Like ravenous beasts.
Yeah.
And the sons of Seth lusted at the daughters of Cain until they committed disgusting and disgraceful acts with them.
What?
Yeah.
Mine just says until they committed abomination.
Oh, yeah.
Disgusting and disgraceful.
Joseph Lumpkin takes a little more...
He's just like, no!
Liberty there.
Not this time. They will not come back up. Disgusting and disgraceful. And it says... and so after they do this, they go down. And they're like, you know what? Let's go back up. But after they had thus fallen into this defilement, they returned by the way they had come and tried to ascend the holy mountain. But they could not, because the stones of the holy mountain were of fire flashing before them, by reason of which they could not go up again. So they were stuck.
Yeah.
They wanted to play the game. They don't want the consequences. So that's it. Those first guys are stuck down there. They can't get back up. Just like.
And at this point, this is when we introduce a mix of people, right? All different types of people now. Now you got some travelers that have come in to Cain land, and they're not, Now they're going to start, and then they start having kids, and this is when the world starts.
And basically, what happens is people just eventually keep coming down. Everybody's getting lulled into it until.
It's like a great and spacious party going on down there.
Yeah. Yeah, there's Enoch, Methuselah's son, Lamech, the son of Methuselah, and Noah, the son of Lamech. So that are still up there. There's not many guys left.
Yeah. It's
like, so at the very end, you're just like, oh man, that sucks.
This also kind of I don't know. This is all imagery in the story and stuff, but when you have when you kind of conceptualize in your mind about how like the flood would happen, it gives Noah a good head start if he's already on the mountain. If he's already in a mountain area.
Well, the thing is, does Noah ever come down?
It's right, and this doesn't cover that.
Yeah, and in the Bible version, seems like he's amongst the people building his ship.
You're right.
But either way, if he's building his ship up on the thing, they're like, why are you building his ship? Like they could yell up to him.
Hey.
You're crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, you're crazy. So,
Is there anything else you have here?
well, who's dying here?
Jared?
Yeah, Jared dies. He prophesies again about that he says, I know through the power of God that he will not leave you on this holy mountain because your children have transgressed. He says, God will take you to a strange land, and ye never shall again return to behold with your eyes this garden or this mountain. And he says, keep the commandments of God, which is in you. Take with you the body of our father Adam, and with it these three precious gifts and offerings, the gold, incense, and myrrh, and then the whole thing. And Noah, he says there'll be one of you to do this, and Noah says, well, who's going to do this? Who's going to be the one to do this? And he says, you are, to Noah.
Yeah.
Noah, you're going to be the one to leave this mountain and take on in a boat and to go to a new land.
That's your task.
Your task. And then your son Shem, it says in 11, come out of your loins, he it is who shall lay the body of our father Adam in the middle of the earth.
Yep, in the middle of the earth.
And then Jared turns to Enoch and he says, thou, my son, abide in this cave and minister diligently before the body of our father Adam all the days of thy life, and feed thy people in righteousness and innocence. So he's like, he's going to do this, you just try to your best to keep the people in line, try to feed them with righteousness. We'll see what happens. It's not going to last. And then he dies. And Enoch, Methuselah, Lamech, and Noah weep over Jared. So anyway, so the children keep on getting lulled down. Now, in chapter 22, it talks about Enoch.
I'm trying to find that part right now.
What?
Which part are you referring to?
Oh, well, where Enoch kept the commandment of Jared. And it explains a little bit about Enoch. It is this Enoch in verse 2 of 22. It is this Enoch to whom many wonders happened, who also wrote a celebrated book. But those wonders may not be told in this place. So they're not told in this book. But it says that there's a big story that goes along with this guy Enoch. That he actually even wrote a book. And so it's almost like saying, encouraging you to look for it, and find out about that.
Yeah, I have more to say on that too. I think.
Okay.
Because in the book of Genesis,
yeah,
there's no discussion at all about Enoch. Really.
Here's what they say about Enoch. Enoch lived 65 years, begot Methuselah, and Enoch walked with God after he begot Methuselah 300 years and begot sons and daughters. All the days of Enoch were 365 years. And then Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him up. That's it.
And it does say that he lived 365, whatever it was, ever so many years.
Which was short.
And it does mention that in the the second book of Adam and Eve as well. But I think the part that I was really interested in was the verse that mentions that he wrote a book.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think, well, first of all, and like I said, we're taking this for face value, right? I don't know if we think that the book of Enoch was literally written by Enoch, but the thing is I do feel like I do see value in him writing something, and I don't know if I should wait for the smorgasbord or if I should mention something right now. We'll wait for smorgasbord.
Okay.
But I have more to say about Enoch.
Well, anyway, so because then
this is going to get our many watchers.
Dude, people are going to hate the smorgasbord. It's going to be all over the place. Anyway. But
see,
no,
now they're
that's
like
fine.
interested in what
but then
I'm
we
say,
can just...
And now you have to watch the smorgasbord.
Yeah.
To get...
We're kind of like them. Yeah. We're kind of like them saying, well, we don't have room to put it here, the book. So But
You're gonna
just
have to
know,
watch another one
yeah.
to know.
So, yeah, Enoch continued 385 years, and God intended to remove him from the earth, and then when Enoch had ended his commandments to them, he's like, God wants to take me up to him. God transported him from the mountain to the land of life, to the mansions of the righteous and of the chosen, the abode of the paradise of joy, in light that reaches up to heaven, light that is outside the light of this world, for it is the light of God, which fills the whole world, but which no place can contain. Thus, because Enoch was in the light of God, he found himself out of the reach of death, until God would have him die.
Yeah.
And here's the sad end of the story, because Enoch is taken up. Altogether, not one of our fathers or of their children remained on that holy mountain except those three, Methuselah, Lamech, and Noah. For all the rest went down from the mountain and fell into sin with the children of Cain. Therefore were they forbidden that mountain, and none remained on it but those three men. And then we know what happens.
What a righteous mountain.
But there's three guys left on it.
and their wives, right? Do you think their wife? The scriptures are famous. Scripture texts are famous for not mentioning women. This one actually does mention a few women, right?
Not many.
But not many.
Just Eve,
the
two daughters,
and Lalula.
Yeah.
And then it mentions how beautiful the ones were.
Oh,
were
it talks
party.
about the pretty ones, yeah. Yeah.
And it mentions the wives of Lamech.
Oh yeah.
But
Well, so that's the end, and then we. So it's just this interesting story about there being lured off the hill and all the inventions and stuff. I really enjoy it, but next,
I'm glad you enjoyed that, Mark.
I want to get in is talk about this book of Enoch that they were talking about.
Wow, is this a segue?
Well, no, I'm saying for our next episode.
Yeah, we're interested. We're interested in getting into the book of. Now we're not sure which one, right? We need to do. Do we need
probably the Ethiopic Enoch?
Do we know then?
But we can look there because there's three different three different books of Enoch.
So there's the secrets of Enoch.
Yeah, there's
You pulling out your Charlesworth?
Yeah. Anyway, and yeah, this is the Ethiopic. There's second Enoch. There's so I don't know, the one in here in this Lost Books of the Bible isn't very good.
Yeah.
It has a lot of things about heaven and stuff, like going up and then the seasons and how the snows are stored different places. And the book I think the first Enoch or the Ethiopic book of Enoch is a good one.
So we're going to use...
Or is it this... There's also this Slavic one, but...
Are we going to use the...
Well, we'll figure it out.
Charlesworth? We'll figure that out and let you know.
Yeah, let's not just sit here. But so, we want to get into this book of Enoch. They left it like perfectly open for us.
How convenient.
Dude. So, yeah, next time, look forward to that. And, all right.
Look to the bear.
What does that even mean, man?
What?
Oh,
Look to the bear, man.
Okay.
We'll do an episode on the bear.
Okay, that's cool. Does that have to do with like